What do you do when a woman who once called herself Mrs. Blacklove decides to drag her own man on Instagram Live in front of millions and then has the audacity to laugh about it? Oh, you thought that Remy Ma Papoose Claressa triangle was cooling off? Think again, because just hours after Remy humiliated Papoose with a slick comment about his performance, Claressa's shield snapped. And baby, when we say snapped, we mean swung first and asked questions. Never eyewitnesses say it was not just words. Claressa pulled up to Remy's set, unannounced, no security, no makeup. Just pure rage and a message you don't deserve, a man like him, and the whole thing caught on camera. So now we're asking the real questions. Is this Claressa finally claiming what's hers? Is Remy spiraling out of control after losing everything, career, man, and public respect? And most importantly, did Papoose just sit back and watch two queens battle it out for his heart? Welcome to Scoop Bazaar, where the truth has lashes, heels, and a left hook. Let's break this disaster all the way down. Let's rewind the mess, because this saga didn't just start with a slap, a scream, or a security guard yelling, "Cut the live." No, this story has been simmering for months, and now it's boiling over fire. First, the stage. Remy Ma, rap queen, Bronx royalty wife, well, allegedly still to Papoose the same. Papoose, who held her down through prison scandals and a dozen bet ciphers. He was the poster child for loyalty, a man who waited years, and how does Remy thank him? By clowning him on Instagram Live. Now, listen closely, because this wasn't your average shade. This wasn't "he left the toilet seat up" or "he forgot my birthday" drama. Nah, this was calculated, slick, surgical. Remy, sitting in her glam chair surrounded by her team with lashes being applied, looked dead into the camera and said, "Some men think loyalty is enough. Like, brahu, if that's all you bring into the table, you might as well go build another one." Her stylist choked on her drink, the comments section exploded, and Papoose, let's just say if silence had a face, it was his, on his next IG story. But hold up, that wasn't even the punchline, because when one follower asked her point blank, "Are you talking about Papoose?" Remy smirked, held her fingers up barely an inch apart, and whispered, "If you know, you know." The room went silent, fans were gasping, remixing the clip and zooming in like it was an FBI investigation. And guess who wasn't amused? Claressa's shields, the self-proclaimed GWAT Olympic gold medalist, and as of recent months, Papoose's biggest supporter, some might even say more than just a supporter. Now, before we get to Claressa's explosive entrance into the saga, let's break down why this live hit so hard, because Remy Ma, she didn't just throw shade, she humiliated Papoose. You see there? Relationship was built on this image, a man waiting for his woman to come home from prison, standing by her no matter what, writing for her career when the label stopped calling it. Was loyalty on full display? But over the past year things started shifting. Remy was seen more with Easy the Block Captain than with her husband. Her appearances at family events were inconsistent, and while Papoose was throwing birthday parties for their daughter and hyping her on Father's Day, Remy was showing up in studios with 50 Cent, posting cryptic stories and liking suspicious tweets. Then came the rumors that Papoose was getting close to a certain female boxer. At first, folks laughed it off. Claressa shields, that's like pairing Serena Williams with a chess player. But when paparazzi caught them holding hands outside a juice bar in Brooklyn, things got real fast. Claressa didn't deny it, Papoose didn't deny it, and Remy, she acted like nothing happened until this live, because the moment she made that little comment, it wasn't just disrespectful, it was strategic humiliation. A woman like Remy knows the power of words, and she chose to broadcast his shortcomings, literally to millions. Now, what happened next? Few buckle up. Claressa Shields was reportedly at her gym in Miami when she saw the clip, and according to one of her team members, she paused mid-sparring, took off her gloves, and said she wanted to play dirty bet. Within 6 hours, Claressa had booked a flight to NYC. But here's the kicker, she didn't just call Remy, she didn't tweet, she didn't go live. She showed up in person at a set where Remy was filming a podcast interview. No entourage, just her, a hoodie, and hands ready for more than boxing. Cameras were rolling, my audio was hot, and what happened next is what you'll see splashed across every shady blog and gossip page in the next 48 hours. But before we get to the full-on confrontation, and trust, it's wild, let's talk about motive. Why would Claressa risk it all? Her reputation, her sponsorships, her public image, because for months now, sources close to her have been whispering that she and Papoose aren't just friends, they've been building quiet dinners, phone calls at 3 a.m., emotional support when Remy was out doing God knows what with battle rappers and club promoters. She sees something in him that Remy forgot. One anonymous source told us she thinks Remy lost the plot, and she's not going to let Papoose go down. With her, the internet was already buzzing about Papressa as the new power couple, and now it looks like Claressa is ready to fight, not just in the ring, but for her man. So when she heard that disrespect on live, something in her snapped, and it all came to a head when she walked into that podcast studio, looked Remy Ma dead in the eye, and said, "You don't deserve a man like him." Cut to shocked gasps. Producer screaming, "Are we live?" And Remy standing up like she's ready to square up, but Claressa didn't flinch. She moved closer, eyes locked, voice low and dangerous. You broke him, now you clown him. Nah, that's not love. That's ego, and I'm not letting you humiliate him. One more time, and just when security tried to step in, that's where the chaos began the second. Claressa said, "You don't deserve a man like him." The energy in that studio shifted. Remy stood up slow and deliberate, the smirk was gone, the sass replaced with something colder. Something calculated. Producers froze, one mic tech dove for the kill switch, but they were too late. The cameras had already caught what happened next. Claressa's, Shields, and Remy Ma nose to nose in what can only be described as a full-blown war of egos, and let's be very clear. This wasn't just about Papoose, this was about pride, reputation, and decades of dominance. From two women who do not back down, according to a leaked recording from someone on the crew. Claressa leaned in and said, "You parade around like loyalty is a leash. You ever ask yourself what he needs?" And Remy, with full Bronx heat, fired back. "Don't preach to me about love. You're a rebound with a mean right hook that don't make you wife material." It was on security, tried to de-escalate, but let's just say, when one of the top fighters in the world squares up with a rapper who did time, ain't nobody stepping in without hazard pay. Remy grabbed her purse like it was loaded. Claressa pulled her ponytail back like it was game time. The energy electric explosive, and the internet, oh baby, it blew up within 30 minutes. An anonymous assistant leaked the footage to a Twitter page known for breaking messy celebrity exclusives, and from their TikTok edits, Instagram breakdowns, and YouTube reactions flooded the timeline. One popular tweet read, "Remy really said he's loyal, but short," and Claressa showed up like a final boss. "This ain't a love triangle, it's Celebrity Deathmatch Bronx Edition." Another went viral with Remy humiliated Pap on Live. Claressa flew across the country to defend him, who's really down for him even. Fat Joe chimed in cryptically, "Of course, tweeting respect ain't something you borrow, it's something you return." Now, let's get into what really sparked Claressa's rage, because it wasn't just this small package comment on live. Our sources, including a hairstylist who allegedly overheard Claressa venting backstage at a Miami shoot, revealed that this confrontation had been brewing for weeks. Apparently, Claressa has been hearing from mutuals that Remy had been mocking Papoose behind closed doors for months. Jokes like, "Pap out here writing poetry while I'm running the game, he the type to cry when the Uber's late." Petty, sure, but when you've been holding your man down building something new and seeing him get publicly clowned by his own wife, it hits different, especially when your name starts getting dragged into the mess. Claressa wasn't just mad, she was offended. She felt like Remy was undermining everything Pap had done to stay loyal, and by extension, mocking her for stepping up and caring for him. A close friend of Claressa, who requested to stay anonymous, told us Claressa saw the live through her protein shake and said, "Nah, she's not doing this to him again." That flight to NYC, that was an emotional mission, and while the studio showdown didn't turn into an actual fight, thank God for that. The moment Claressa stormed out, cameras still rolling, she said one more thing that sent the blogs into cardiac arrest. "If you ain't woman enough to love him, right, step aside. I'm not asking twice." And guess who posted that clip first? Tasha K. Yep, within hours. Tasha had the exclusive watermarked and everything, and it didn't stop there. The footage started spreading like wildfire, and fans were split down the middle. Some were firmly Team Remy. "Claressa out here acting like Papoose is a prize girl. You're doing too much." Others were ride or die for Claressa. She flew across the country to defend that man. That's love. Remy forgot what she had. And then there were the conspiracy theorists. One thread that gained serious traction online claimed this entire saga was strategically planned by Remy to test Claressa's loyalty and push Papoose back into her arms by creating jealousy. Crazy maybe, but this is the internet, and Remy has pulled some wild stunts before. Remember when she faked that pregnancy promo in 2022 to launch her mixtape? Fans still haven't forgiven her, but let's not pretend Claressa's hands are squeaky clean. Either paparazzi caught her leaving a fancy steakhouse last week, not with Papoose, but with a mysterious music executive known to have dated Remy years ago. The blogs were quiet then, but now it's fuel for the fire. Some fans speculate Claressa may be using this drama to boost her visibility ahead of her upcoming fight. One boxing analyst even posted, "This ain't just a love story, it's brand building." Claressa knows drama sells more than gold medals these days, and Papoose, he's been painfully silent. No tweets, no interviews, no shade, just a black screen with a single line on his Instagram story. "Y'all keep playing games with real hearts." No tag, no name, no explanation, just heartbreak and Helvetica. And that's when things took an even darker turn, because according to one insider, Papoose was rushed to a private hospital later that night for what his team described as an extreme episode. Yeah, you read that right. The same man who held down an entire household, who swallowed every rumor about Remy and 50 Easy, even DJ Envy, finally broke doctors, reportedly advised him to take a full social media detox and avoid all emotionally triggering content, which is basically impossible when your wife and your maybe girlfriend are trending under #Slapthorpe, and while neither woman has publicly addressed the incident, since both have been liking shady posts Claressa liked to tweet, That real love shows up loud, in person, not in poems. Remy, on the other hand, liked a meme of herself adjusting her wig with the caption, "When you remember you're the prize, even if he's not." Yeah, this isn't over, and just when fans thought it couldn't get any worse, another leak dropped a blurry, low-quality clip of Papoose in a hospital gown, looking weak with Claressa by his side, holding his hand, no words. Just tension. Some say it's a staged PR move, others say it's real pain. But one thing's for sure, this love triangle has turned into an emotional demolition site, and the internet is watching every piece fall. And while the internet tried to process the image of Papoose in a hospital gown with Claressa clutching his hand like a lifeline, Remy Ma was nowhere to be seen. No statement, no reaction, just silence. But for fans of this triangle, silence wasn't peace, it was pressure building, and eventually it exploded. Because late that night, an anonymous burner account dropped what they claimed was a leaked voicemail from Remy to a close friend. The audio quality was grainy, but the voice unmistakable. "I didn't mean to break him. I was angry. I thought he'd fight back, not disappear." That one clip set the internet on fire. Some took it as a confession, others heard manipulation. But most agreed it wasn't remorse, it was regret. Regret that the tables had turned, and the woman once celebrated for black love, royalty, was now the villain in her own story behind the scenes. Sources claimed Remy's team was scrambling. Her PR rep, Allegedly, reached out to 3 major blogs offering exclusive interviews, all of which were declined. Why? Because none of them wanted to get in the crossfire between Claressa and Remy. One media insider told us, "When the story is this hot, nobody wants to take a side and get burned." Meanwhile, Claressa was getting invitations to every major podcast panel and women's empowerment event across the country. Brands were lining up to offer her deals. Her fight promo doubled in views overnight. Even people who had never watched boxing before suddenly knew her name, not just as a fighter, but as the woman who defended a broken man when no one else would. But don't think Remy was going to stay silent forever, because just when it seemed like Claressa had claimed the narrative, Remy dropped her own bombshell, an Instagram story with a single sentence written in bold white font on a black screen. "You want to fight over a man who cried when I missed his call?" That line hit like a bullet. Within minutes, Twitter threads erupted. Was Remy trying to expose Papoose as emotionally weak, or was she lashing out because she finally felt the sting of rejection? Whichever it was, the damage was done. The post was screenshotted, reposted, and analyzed like it was a national security leak, and guess who wasn't having it? Papoose's daughter. Deji entered the chat in a now-deleted post on her private account. She wrote, "My dad deserves better, always has. Some women don't know how to value peace until it's gone." Fans connected the dots instantly, and they were shook for years. Remy and Deji had a famously tense relationship, but this was war. The family rift was now public, but just when it felt like the story couldn't twist any further, a shocking leak dropped that shifted everything. Security footage from a hotel in Queens showed Remy Ma meeting with none other than Easy the Block Captain. Yes, him, the same rapper who was rumored to be involved with her last year. The footage wasn't compromising, but the timestamp was the night of Claressa's confrontation. Remy wasn't home. She was spotted arriving at the hotel at 11:47 p.m. Ezzy arrived 6 minutes later. They stayed in the same suite until 4:13 a.m. Chaos. Remy's rep refused to comment. Easy posted a vague "mind the business that pays you" meme, but Papoose, he finally broke his silence in a heartfelt note posted to Instagram. Pap wrote, "I loved her loud, I supported her in silence. But what hurts most is realizing you were just a chapter, not the book." No name, no tagging, but everyone knew exactly who he was talking about within hours. The post had over 300k comments, with celebrities like Ashanti, Swiss Beats, and even Kesha Cole showing support. And Claressa, she commented to just 3 words, "You still loved." Now here's the twist. After everything, Claressa flew back to Miami. No follow-up interviews, no press tours. Just one cryptic story, a photo of her boxing gloves with a caption, "Sometimes the real fight ain't in the ring." So where does that leave us? Stan's accused not only of emotionally wrecking her husband, but of possibly cheating while the world thought she was just being petty. Papoose, the loyal poet turned heartbroken recluse, is battling health issues and media storms all at once. And Claressa Shields, the undefeated champ, now wears 2 titles. Gwat in the ring, and the internet's unofficial hero in this soap opera saga. And the fans, they've turned this into a cultural moment. Hashtags like #Pap deserves peace, #Remy downfall, and Claressa for the win are trending in multiple cities. One tweet summed it up best. Remy wrote bars, Claressa wrote legacy, and Papoose just wanted love. And now the streets are whispering something wild, that Papoose might file for divorce. Not just quietly but publicly. A televised sit-down is allegedly being negotiated. A network known for hosting celebrity therapy specials is reportedly in talks to bring all 3 together for a confrontation. Imagine that, Remy Papoose and Claressa, 3 chairs, 1 stage, unscripted, unfiltered. If that happens, you already know the world's going to stop. But until then, the internet is left with this final image: a man broken by betrayal, a woman weaponized by love, and a legend humbled by her own pride. Because at the end of the day, this wasn't about a love triangle, it was about timing, ego, and realizing that even loyalty has limits, and this time, Remy Ma may have crossed hers, so now the question is who really won. Remy lost, a man Claressa gained. And Remy Papoose, he's somewhere in the middle, caught between two women who both claim to love him, one through pain, the other through protection. But here's what we want to know: was Remy really out of pocket for exposing Papoose like that, or was she just finally saying what she's always thought, that loyalty without desire is nothing but emotional charity? Did Claressa go too far stepping in like a bodyguard with a crush, or was she the only one who dared to check a woman who's been unchecked for too long? And what about Papoose? Should he forgive Remy, or should he follow through with the rumored sit-down interview and expose everything? The streets are watching, the timelines are talking, and the blogs, oh, they're salivating. This isn't just a love story, it's a cultural collision, loyalty versus ego, love versus legacy, and somewhere in the middle, a hospital bed, a boxing glove, and an Instagram live that never should have happened. So don't scroll past. Now drop your thoughts in the comments. Team Remy, Team Claressa, or Team Papoose deserves peace? Smash that like button if you're tired of seeing real love turned into clickbait. Subscribe if you want more truth, more mess, and more raw breakdowns of the drama they don't want you to see, and turn on those post notifications because the next leak, it might just change everything. This is Scoop, Bazaar, and Baby. We never clock out. See you in the next scandal.